Denmark and Iceland are often overlooked when discussing Nordic military power. Everyone talks about Sweden, Finland, and Norway. But what about these two nations? How would they defend themselves in a real war? Could Denmark hold its own? And what about Iceland, the only NATO country without a military? Today, we're breaking down how Denmark and Iceland would fight in a war, and why their role in a conflict might be more important than you think. Denmark may be small, but its strategic importance is massive. Located at the entrance to the Baltic Sea, Denmark controls the Danish Straits, a crucial naval choke point. In any conflict, controlling these waters could determine who dominates the region. Denmark has built a powerful navy specifically designed for this role. Its fleet includes 3 Iver Huitfeldt-class frigates, some of the most advanced warships in Northern Europe. These frigates are equipped with long-range air defense systems, giving Denmark strong anti-air capabilities. It also operates 2 Absalon-class frigates, which can transport troops and tanks, making them highly versatile in a crisis. In total, Denmark operates 5 frigates, 4 large Arctic patrol vessels, and several smaller ships designed for coastal defense. However, there's one major weakness. Denmark scrapped its submarine fleet in 2004, leaving it vulnerable to undersea threats. Denmark's ground forces are small but highly trained. The army consists of about 6,600 active soldiers, with an emphasis on rapid deployment forces. They operate a small but modern tank fleet, with Leopard 2 A7 battle tanks. The army is well equipped for NATO operations, but its numbers are far smaller than other Nordic countries. Denmark's air force is undergoing a major upgrade. The country has relied on F-16 fighter jets for decades, but it is now transitioning to the F-35 Lightning II, a cutting-edge stealth fighter that will significantly boost Denmark's air combat capabilities. Denmark's entire defense strategy is built around NATO. It is not designed to fight a war alone, but to support NATO operations in the Baltic and Arctic. If Denmark were attacked, its navy would immediately lock down the Danish Straits to prevent enemy forces from entering the Baltic Sea. Its air force would patrol NATO airspace, intercepting hostile aircraft. Meanwhile, its ground forces would likely be deployed abroad to support NATO allies. However, Denmark's army is too small to defend the country on its own. If an invasion occurred, Denmark would rely on NATO reinforcements to hold the line. Iceland is a unique case. It is the only NATO member without a standing military. So how does Iceland defend itself? The answer is simple. It relies entirely on its allies. The United States and NATO provide security for Iceland through air policing missions, where Allied fighter jets rotate through the country to protect its airspace. The United States also maintains radar stations in Iceland to monitor activity in the North Atlantic. If a conflict erupted, NATO would deploy forces to Iceland to secure the island. Despite having no military, Iceland does have a highly capable coast guard. This force operates 3 large patrol vessels designed to secure Icelandic waters. These ships are armed and equipped to detect submarines and surface threats. The Coast Guard also has long-range maritime surveillance aircraft, which monitor activity in the Arctic and North Atlantic. While these forces are effective for peacetime operations, they are not capable of defending the country in a major war. If an enemy attacked Iceland, it would fall within hours without NATO intervention. If a war broke out in Europe or the Arctic, Denmark and Iceland would play very different roles. Denmark's navy would be critical in controlling access to the Baltic Sea, while its air force would contribute to NATO air defense. However, Denmark's small army means it would not be able to hold out against a major invasion on its own. Iceland, on the other hand, would become a crucial NATO airbase used for refueling and launching missions over the North Atlantic. However, without NATO protection, Iceland would have no way to defend itself. Could Denmark or Iceland survive a war without NATO? Denmark has a strong navy and advanced fighter jets, but its army is too small to fight alone. It would hold out for a while, but would eventually need Allied reinforcements. Iceland is one of the most vulnerable countries in Europe. Without NATO, it would have no way to resist an invasion. Denmark is a key NATO naval power, playing a crucial role in defending Northern Europe. Iceland is strategically vital, but completely reliant on its allies. Without NATO, Denmark might be able to resist for a while, but Iceland would fall almost immediately.